Hello and shalom, friends. This is Mayim, and I'm here to talk to you today about one of my favorite books and one of my favorite authors, which is Dr. Robert S. Mendelsohn and his influential book, How to Raise a Healthy Child in Spite of Your Doctor. Now, the title alone is really jaw-dropping. How to Raise a Healthy Child in Spite of Your Doctor. That means that your doctor's not going to help you in this task. You have to do it in spite of him. Now, Dr. Robert Mendelsohn, he was a renowned pediatrician. He was on various talk shows and radio, TV. He was a highly decorated doctor, and he had a lot of experience, with children's medicine in particular. And he challenges conventional wisdom and empowers parents in this book to take an active role in their children's health. He has a few other books too, also very hard hitting and groundbreaking. One other one is called Confessions of a Medical Heretic, and where he actually compares the modern medical system to a religion, which absolutely is. And the way it's run today, where you're supposed to have blind faith in the system. Even doctors these days have to have blind faith in the orders that are coming to them from the three-letter government organizations. And also he has another book called Male Practice, about how doctors manipulate women. All excellent books. I don't know if he has more than that, but I know of those three at least. So in this specific book, though, he's empowering parents to take an active role in their children's health. And his book provides a very critical examination of the modern pediatric care system. And he offers practical advice on managing common childhood illnesses at home and emphasizes the importance of trusting your instincts as parents. So let's dive into some of the main points of this groundbreaking work. Okay. Number one is the philosophy of pediatric care. Dr. Mendelsohn begins by questioning the conventional approach to pediatric care. He argues that many pediatricians are too quick to intervene with treatments, tests, and medications that are often unnecessary and in some cases harmful. And he believes that modern medicine is too focused on treating symptoms rather than allowing the body to heal itself naturally. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. The majority of childhood illnesses are self-limiting. They will go away on their own. That's what they're designed to do. Our bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made. And we, for the most part, do not require medical intervention. Instead, parents should focus on supporting the body's natural healing processes. Number two, talks about the role of parents versus doctors. One of the central themes of the book is the idea that parents, not doctors, are the best guardians of their children's health. Dr. Mendelsohn emphasizes that parents are more attuned to their children's behaviors, symptoms, and overall well-being than any healthcare professional. The doctors these days don't even have like a full, 10 minutes sometimes to talk to you or your child. And yet they're so quick to, diagnose this and give you prescription for that. Parents should trust their instincts, he argues, and their knowledge of their children, recognizing when medical intervention is truly necessary and when it can be avoided. Number three, he discusses the risks of over-medication and unnecessary treatment. Dr. Mendelsohn is highly critical of the widespread use of medications, especially antibiotics, in pediatric care. He points out that many doctors prescribe drugs as a quick fix, often without considering the potential long-term consequences. Over-medication can lead to a range of health issues, including antibiotic resistance, weakened immune systems, and a reliance on pharmaceuticals for minor ailments. There are many doctors and scientists today saying that one day antibiotics will no longer be effective. They will no longer be effective for us because we are overusing them. And we're creating super bugs, super bacteria that cannot be killed by antibiotics. Parents should be cautious about accepting prescriptions and seek natural remedies when appropriate. I, for one, have never used antibiotics on any of my children, over-the-counter prescription ones, that is. We use natural antibiotics, vitamin C, iodine, garlic, colloidal silver. There's so many things that are more powerful than conventional antibiotics and much more safer as well, and don't cause the long-term side effects. Number 4, understanding and managing common childhood ailments. He provides detailed guidance on how to handle common childhood illnesses such as fevers, colds, ear infections, and gastrointestinal issues. Dr. Mendelsohn explains that many of these conditions can be managed effectively at home without the need for a doctor's visit. Now, I believe his information is good, but there's a lot more. I think it's a good starting point. There's a lot more you can learn. There's a lot more books that you would need in your arsenal to be a truly confident and effective holistic healer for your family. That's what my certification program is all about, of course. But his book is certainly foundational. For most common ailments, rest, proper nutrition, hydration, and home remedies, such as sunshine and herbs and supplements, they're all that are needed. That's all I've ever needed for all of my children. I have 7 of my own that I've raised, free of all drugs and conventional medical treatment. Everything was done naturally. They've never even taken Tylenol. Actually, one of them took Tylenol when she broke a bone once, one day. And after that, I gave her natural things, and she didn't want Tylenol. The natural things were effective. They were good enough to relieve her of the pain and also help her through the healing process. So fever, for example, is the body's natural defense mechanism and usually does not require medical intervention unless it is extremely high or persistent. And high, Dr. Mendelsohn talks about is like 104, 105 degrees. And even when it does get that high, there's still very natural things that can be done to lower that fever. A tepid bath, cool washcloths, cool drinks. There are many things that can be done, but for the most part, your child having a fever, you having a fever, anyone having a fever is a sign that your body is working. Your immune system is working to get rid of an infection, to get rid of, the bad bacteria. And that's why it's having a fever. So trying to get rid of the fever is counterproductive to healing. Number 5, the importance of nutrition and preventive care. Nutrition plays a critical role in a child's overall health and development. And Dr. Mendelsohn advocates for a diet rich in whole natural foods and emphasizes the benefits of breastfeeding as a foundation for long-term health. It is a very important part of building up your child's immunity. Much more effective than vaccines. 1,000% more. Vaccines are not effective at all at building immunity. Now, proper nutrition, beginning with breastfeeding and continuing with a diet free from processed foods and additives. That means free from fast food, free from Doritos and chips and candy with all these fake colors and fake chemicals, all that stuff. Free from that, or at least minimalizing that, is essential for preventing illness and promoting healthy growth. It's so important. Okay, number 6, the myth of routine well baby visits. As I've said many times before, my children have never seen conventional medical doctors. We might see, one of my 7 children might see a homeopath or naturopath 1 year. That's the extent of it, maybe. And that's usually when I'm struggling to understand, to find a good treatment myself as a naturopathic herbalist. So I want a second opinion. I want to coordinate with another healer. So that's when I go. But it's very, very rare that I do. Dr. Mendelsohn questions the necessity of routine well baby visits and the use of growth charts to assess a child's development. My children are Asian, and they're doing great in terms of growth for Asians, but when comparing them to Americans, they're like, oh, what's wrong? Are you not feeding your child well? Is your child malnourished? Well, no, they're just Asian, you know? So he argues that these visits often lead to unnecessary treatments and interventions. Parents should not feel pressured to adhere to a rigid schedule of doctor visits. Instead, they should monitor their child's health at home and seek medical advice only when there are clear signs of illness or developmental concerns. And this is coming from a highly decorated pediatrician. Okay, don't forget that. He also talks about the controversy of immunizations. They're not effective. Don't do it. I won't go into it more, but the book does cover it. And, you know, in the Arukah Holistic Healer Certification Program, my students certainly do cover that in depth. But vaccination is not immunization. It's actually Dr. Robert Mendelsohn says it's actually it's like the induction ceremony into the religion of modern medicine. That's what he compares vaccines to. It's the parents' first act of faith in the modern medical system is to vaccinate their child. What vaccination actually does is it establishes the need for the modern medical system because it lays the foundation for a sickly childhood. Okay, number 8, he talks about navigating the healthcare system. Dr. Mendelsohn encourages parents to be assertive when dealing with healthcare providers. He advises against blind trust in doctors and stresses the importance of asking questions, seeking second opinions, and advocating for their child's well-being. Unfortunately, sometimes in certain places, in certain hospitals and medical establishments, you can be charged with child abuse, and CPS can be called on you if you do not accept your doctor's opinion. If you just say that you want a second opinion, I've heard of parents being threatened by doctors saying, you can get a second opinion, but we will call CPS on you if you do so. It's horrible. And this is why if I'm going to go see a medical doctor at all, they must be a naturopath or a homeopath, someone who is not interested in drugging up my child, someone who understands holistic and naturopathic care, like I do, someone who I can partner with in my child's health, not someone who will treat me like some ignorant parent, you know, just trying to do some frou-frou, whatever, you know, like, no, I'm a very logical person. I was formerly a NASA computer scientist. I'm very logical, very scientific. I look for evidence. I only do things that work, only do things that are effective. So the bottom line here is that effective communication with healthcare professionals is crucial, and parents should not hesitate to challenge recommendations or refuse treatments that they believe are unnecessary or harmful. But mind you, if you don't have a good doctor, this questioning, this challenging can be used against you. Okay, conclusion. In this book, How to Raise a Healthy Child in Spite of Your Doctor, Dr. Robert Mendelsohn offers a refreshing and empowering perspective on pediatric care. His message is clear. Parents are the best advocates for their children's health. And by trusting their instincts, educating themselves, and embracing a more natural approach to healthcare, parents can ensure that their children grow up healthy and strong, free from the unnecessary interventions of modern medicine. So I hope you read his book, and I hope you feel inspired to take control of your child's health journey, armed with the knowledge and confidence to make informed decisions that prioritize their well-being. And if you don't have children yourself, or if they're already grown, I pray that you would be a health advocate for these children and for these parents. Shalom.